to this text, and there's not a timestamp, so to speak, but we know at least this. We know we are at least within 5 days of Jesus going to Calvary. That what is taking place here is in at least the final 5 days of Jesus' life on earth before he goes to Calvary to die for the sins of the world. There's a lot of things that are taking place, and they're in Jerusalem. Jerusalem, the population has swelled because the Passover is coming, and folks that have, Jewish folks have come, folks that aren't Jewish folks, but worship God, they've come. The city, the population has swelled with worshipers, and in the midst of that scene, here's what we find in verse 20. And there were certain Greeks among them that came up to worship at the feast. And so there's some things. Just stop right there. There are several thoughts here. First of all, there is the thought that these Greeks may be Hellenist Jews that live in another place where the Greek lifestyle is followed and the Greek language is spoken. And so they come as Jews to worship, but they come with their Grecian influence. And then there's other voices that say, wrong word gets used here. Probably doesn't mean that, but perhaps it means that there are Greeks who are worshipers, and they're perhaps not Jewish, but they are worshipers, and they have come. We know that there are those worshipers from other cultures and from other ethnicities that outside Jewish family that go to Jerusalem worship. We know that. We're going to meet an Ethiopian eunuch, by the way, later on in the book of Acts, who has come from Ethiopia. He's not Jewish, but he's come from Ethiopia to worship. And so perhaps that, whatever it is, here's what we know. These folks are not from Jerusalem. They don't live there. They don't live in the Promised Land. They're not part of the larger Israeli culture that's there in the mainland. They come from someplace else. And they come, and the same came to Philip in verse 21, which was of Bethsaida of Galilee, and desired him, saying, Sir, we would see Jesus. They aren't from there. They're from another place. They've heard something about Jesus. Somehow their curiosity has been perked. They come to some of the followers of Jesus. They come to Philip and say, Philip, we want to see Jesus. Philip comes and tells Andrew, and again, Andrew and Philip tell Jesus. So Andrew and Philip, two of the followers of Jesus, have come to Jesus, and they've said, there are some Greeks here, and they want to meet you. They're not satisfied with just seeing you at a distance. They want to meet you. If they only wanted to just put their eyes on you, we could have pointed at you and said, well, there he is. You know what he looks like? There he is right there. That's Jesus. Look at him. That's not what they wanted. They wanted an encounter with Jesus. Praise God. Good thing, isn't it? It's a wonderful thing. They want an encounter with Jesus Christ. They want a meeting with Jesus. They want someone to introduce them, say, hey, it's Jesus. Here's some folks that are from our community. They have Greek influence. They want to meet you, and they want this encounter. I don't know what you think, but I think Jesus would just say, we'll go. Or where are they? We'll go to them. Look what it says, verse 23. And Jesus answered them, saying, the hour is come that the Son of Man should be glorified. What about the Greeks? I mean, Jesus doesn't even address them. The hour has come that the Son of Man should be glorified. Verily, verily, I say unto you, except the corn of wheat fall to the ground, and it die, it abideth alone. But if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. He that loveth his life shall lose it. He that hateth his life in this world shall keep it unto life eternal. If any man serve me, let him follow me. Where I am, there shall also my servant be. If any man serve me, him my Father will honor. Jesus doesn't respond in any way that I've envisioned. In fact, it's almost as if a glance from this vantage point, it's as if Jesus just kind of glossed over the fact that Andrew and Philip has showed up with his request of some Grecians that want to meet Jesus. He hasn't, but it seems like that. He certainly doesn't say what I thought he would say. We'll go get them. I can go get them if they want an encounter. That's what I'm here for. Or do you know where they're at? We'll go to where they're at, and we will encounter them. He certainly doesn't do anything like that. What he does is turn the page and share with us that he's God and he's got something better. Better? Yes. Better. Would you bow your head? Father, we thank you. We thank you for the opportunity that we get to worship you for people. We've set aside the other cares and concerns of life this evening, and have given you this time. We've come to worship you. We pray, Lord, that you wipe away the crumbs of life I said, when I read the text, I expect Jesus to respond someday. I expect Jesus to say to Philip and Andrew, well, go get the Greeks, maybe even call them by name, because he's Jesus, he's God, and say, well, we'll go get them and bring them, or take me to them, or let me take you to them, and we'll have an encounter. So it catches me off guard when Jesus does neither. And remember that the events of our text take place within 5 days of the Passover. Within 5 days of what's happening here, Jesus won't be on planet Earth as we've known him. I mean, Jesus will have gone to the cross. His body will have been entered into a tomb. And Jesus, everything that the disciples have known up until this point, is going to change within days. Those who have followed Jesus in this world will be entrusted to take Jesus to this world. I mean, those who have come to Jesus' presence and followed him are going to be entrusted to take the message of Jesus to the rest of the world. And Jesus says in this occasion, the hour has come that the Son of Man should be glorified. And if you're like me, you said, I'm scratching your head here, what he's talking about. I think the point that it is read, and others translators put it this way, the time has come for him to return to his glory in heaven. Yet another team puts it like this, the time has come for the Son of Man to enter into his glory. Here's what we know. We know that Jesus was not glorified in the time he had left on planet Earth. We know that did not happen. Here's what we know. In the time Jesus had left on earth, he would be abused by the religious leaders. The betrayal of Judas would be bought by the bribery of the religious leaders. The religious leaders would have conspired for the death of Jesus Christ. They would politically maneuver Pilate and gain the condemnation of Jesus Christ. He's not glorified. And we know he's not glorified in the time he has left on planet Earth in his life before Calvary. We know that because not only is he betrayed, but he's abused. I mean, well, what's going to happen to Jesus is not glorification; it's downright abuse. They're going to have a mock trial. They're going to slap him. They're going to spit on him. They're going to abuse him. They're going to beat him finally before the cross within an inch of his physical life. They're going to cause him to carry his own cross from the place of the pavement to the hill of Calvary, and he physically will be unable to do that. When they get to Calvary, they're going to take the body of Jesus and physically impale him, mechanically attach him with nails to a wooden structure. They're going to lift it up naked and suspend him between heaven and earth, and he's going to be a public spectacle until he dies. He is not glorified in the time he has left on earth. That's not what happened. So what does it mean? What does it mean that he's going to be glorified? Well, it means perhaps he's going to leave this earth, and he's going back home. He's going to leave this world and go back to the world where he's vowed to. He's going to leave this place and go to that place where the cry is, worthy is the Lamb that was slain of all honor and praise. It could be this event that Jesus is talking about that the Apostle Paul summarizes in Philippians when he speaks of Jesus and says, and being found in fashion of a man, he humbled himself and became obedient unto death, even the death of the cross. Wherefore God hath also highly exalted him and given him a name which is above every name, that at the name of Jesus every knee should bow, of things in earth, in heaven, and things in earth, and things under the earth, and that every tongue should confess that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. Jesus says, I'm going to be glorified. The time has come for me to be glorified. The time has come for me to go to that place where I'm glorified. The time has come for another age. Things are going to change. Jesus does not invite these Greeks to him, nor does he say, let's get up and go to where they're at. He has his eyes set on what is on the other side of the cross, what would come on the other side of the resurrection. Jesus Christ had his eyes on this age that you and I are living in today. I want you to think about this for a moment. While Jesus was on planet Earth, those who came to Jesus literally came to Jesus. Literally. If you came to Jesus in the lifetime of Jesus, then literally you came to the physical presence of Jesus. Whether you were diseased or you had some possession, some physical malady, whether you are a lame man whose friends have broken up a roof and dropped you into the presence of Jesus, or whether you are a father who's concerned for his child and you've come to the presence of Jesus. Those who came to Jesus literally came to Jesus. But today, we can come to Jesus from wherever we are. In the lifetime of Jesus, God has confined himself to a human body, a physical existence. No longer is he confined by a human body on planet Earth. The Spirit has come in his absence, and now you can follow Jesus from wherever you are. You can come to Jesus from wherever you are. I mean, Jesus doesn't say, go get them, bring them to me. Jesus says, there's another chapter about to begin. I'm going to be glorified, and now folks can come to me from anywhere. I mean, once upon a time, if you wanted to come to Jesus, you had to come to Jesus. Now, in the age that you and I live in fact, just days ahead of the event in the text, those who are following Jesus were going to be commanded, don't stay here and let folks come to you, but go to where folks are. Go to where the world is. Go to the lost. Go to the needy. Go to those who do not know Jesus. Because now folks don't need to leave where they are to come to Jesus. You can come to Jesus from wherever you are. It's really tremendous. It's tremendous. It's not that Jesus is holding back. No, I'm not going to do that. It's Jesus saying, I got a better plan. I got a better plan. Chapter's about to turn. The page is going to turn. And there's something better is coming. I want you to notice a few thoughts with me. Truths that live in the text. First of all, there's the possibilities. Philip and Andrew had spent at least a couple years following Jesus and bringing folks to Jesus. Literally taking people by the hand and leading them from wherever they were to wherever Jesus was. But you and I, we have the opportunity to lead people to Jesus wherever they are, and they don't have to leave where they are. I mean, for Philip and Andrew to bring someone to Jesus, literally meant bringing them to Jesus today. Today, folks take the message of Jesus into all parts of the world, and in those parts of the world, they don't have to leave there and go somewhere else. They can come to Jesus right where they're at. In fact, the church has been commanded to do just that. The Creator God, who had been confined by a human body so that folks could know him. And now that same Creator God lives in the lives of believers so that we can show the life of Jesus, so that we can share the love of Jesus with others. Listen, Jesus tells us the time has come. There's a change. No longer do you have to bring them to me. They can come to me from right where they are. Tremendous possibility. There's a change that takes place in the text. Philip and Andrew, they knew what it was like to follow Jesus. They literally had put their lives on hold. As they left where they were from, the text says, Philip was from Bethsaida. I mean, he's not from Jerusalem. He's not from where they're at. He's not from where they've been either. He's put his life on hold to follow Jesus. They knew what that was like. They had left the place where they used to live to literally, physically follow Jesus. For them, following Jesus literally meant we're going to walk where Jesus walks. We're going to put our steps. We're going to go where he stepped. We literally are going to be following him. But today, you and I can follow Jesus and never leave Hillsborough County. I mean, we can follow Jesus right where we are. We don't have to go anywhere. And so the question really is not, I mean, can I be a follower of Jesus? Can I believe on him like Philip and Andrew did? Can I follow him? Can I live my life for him the way they live? That's not even the question. The question is, am I following Jesus? Am I living a life for Jesus? Because it is possible Jesus has been glorified, no longer confined to an earthly body. Jesus has been once again honored by heaven. Jesus is God that is omnipotent and omniscient and omnipresent. Listen, you can come to him from wherever you are. You can live for him wherever you are. The question is not can I. The question is am I. Possibilities really are mind-boggling. It was something grander than Philip and Andrew had ever imagined. Jesus literally just pulled back the curtain and opened up vistas that they wait a minute, Jesus, you mean they can get to know you without literally coming into your physical presence? Yes. Yes. By the way, thank God you can. Or where would we be? There's something else I want you to notice. Not only the possibilities, but the productivity. Verse 24, Jesus says this. Verily, verily, or truthfully, truthfully, I say unto you, except a corn or kernel of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone. But if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. We get that, don't we? We get that. If you leave a seed in a packet of seeds, does no good. If you leave a seed somewhere up on a shelf, no value. But if you put it in the ground and you let it die, you let it decay, you let it die, then what happens? It begins to live. That's what happens. Everything that was dormant on the inside of the seed comes to life. And if everything is healthy, it grows into a mature plant, and it produces another seed. Listen, Philip and Andrew, here's the catalyst. Philip and Andrew said, Jesus, there's these guys, they want to meet you. Jesus says, we're not having that meeting. I'm not going. Things have changed. Now, instead of me going to where they're at or they're coming to where I'm at, you're going to take the message of me to them. You are going to show them what Jesus looks like living inside of a human life in your own personal testimony. You are going to share Jesus with them. They're going to learn what it means to follow Jesus by watching you follow me. It's changing. It's not going to operate the same way. The possibilities are tremendous. But here's the issue. Philip and Andrew, if you're willing to not live for yourself, if you're willing to live for me instead of living for you, oh my goodness, what I can do with you. If you're just willing to die for yourself and be planted in the soul where you live, my goodness, what may come out. I mean, understand something. Jesus died so that we may live. That's true. That's true. He's the kernel that died. He's the one who gave his life, did not live for himself so that we could live. But while that's true, it's incomplete. Jesus is not just talking about what he's going to do on Calvary's cross. He's talking about what he wants us to do. No longer live for yourself, but live for him. Die to yourself and live for Jesus and be amazed at what Jesus does. But as long as you live for yourself, there won't be very much amazing taking place. When life isn't about us, Jesus may use us to give life to others. See, not only is it possible for Jesus to live in us and through us, but it's possible for countless others to be born into the family of God because someone like us is willing to live for Jesus instead of living for ourselves. Listen, it's a big temptation. I mean, the world offers all kinds of things. We've been sold this book. I mean, if we've invested our all in having a better life here, then what have we done for heaven's sake? What have we done for the cause of eternity? I mean, if life is all about us in the here and now, then what about the rest of eternity? Because you understand that this is just a small little drop compared to the rest of it. I appreciate the words of Dietrich Bonhoeffer when he spoke about life and death, and he suggested, what if, unbeknownst to us, that life as we know it is just a prologue before the curtain goes up and real life begins on the other side of it? Isn't that the story, the account of the Bible? That this is just a prologue. That when death comes for the child of God, the curtain finally goes up, not down, and real life finally begins. You gotta die. You gotta die for yourself. Live for Him. See, the seed only produces fruit if it dies. On the shelf, no good. In the seed packet, it's just seed. Put it in the ground and let it die, and then it lives. Look what he says in verse 25, verse 26. He that loveth his life shall lose it. He that hateth his life in this world shall keep it unto life eternal. Think about that for a moment. It's true. It's literally true. It's not figuratively. It's literally true. If we live only for the here and now, what happens one day? You lose it. You lose it. Death comes and wrenches it out of your fingers. If we live only for the here and now, one day you lose everything you live for. That's just a fact. You don't have to dig for any deeper meaning. Jesus, just like that. If you live for the here and now, then you lose it. But if you live for something bigger than the here and now, if you live for the cause of God, if you live with an eye on eternity, then you get to keep it for eternity. That's what Jesus said. Philip and Andrew, they'd gone through this chapter of life of several years where they put their life on hold. They followed Jesus. They went where Jesus went. Someone wanted to see Jesus. They took him by the hand. They brought him to where he was at. Or they went to Jesus and got him to go to where there was this. But Jesus says, no, listen, things are about to change. And the change is really good because now you can come to Jesus from wherever you are. And you can follow Jesus from wherever you are. You can live for Jesus wherever you are, and you can live a life that has eternal value attached to it. But you can't do it if you're only living for yourself. That's when you can't do it. Jesus said, time has come for me to be glorified. I'm leaving this world behind. Jesus might as well have said, I'm going to the place where the angels sit. I'm leaving this place. I'm going to that place where they're going to put me on the throne. I'm leaving this place where people thumb their nose at me, and I'm going to that place where every knee bends and every tongue confesses that I am Lord of Lords, and I am King of Kings, and I am God of God for all eternity and all glory. And today,